the street, yeah, we bring the heat. It's your time to speak, or yeah, take your seat. Become eligible, become eligible. Hey.
Welcome back to Become Eligible podcast, where we talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between in your journey to becoming eligible mentally, emotionally, professionally, and spiritually. My good name is Kimani Sauce. That's K-I-N-A-N-I-S-A-U-C-E. And there's a proverb that says, the axe forgets, but the trees remember. In the workplace, that speaks how our actions, intentionally or not, leave an impact. Becoming eligible in your career isn't about having qualifications. It's about emotional intelligence, consistency, and understanding the human side of work. Today, I'm joined by an experienced HR professional who has seen it all from CVs to resignation, promotions to culture shifts. We are talking about what really makes someone stand out, not just on paper, but in presence. So whether you are job hunting, leading a team, or building your path, this one is for you. But before we continue, be sure to follow us on each and every social media platform, that is at Become Eligible Podcast, and my personal social media handle is at Kimani Sauce. If you have any feedback or want to share some tips with me, my WhatsApp number is open. My number is 0700573437. And just in case you want to catch a recap of this episode or other episodes, I am on Spotify and any other place where you get your podcast from. That being said, I have the beautiful Miss Nyamai in studio. Karibu sana Nyamai. Miss Nyamai.
Wow.
Yes.
That's quite an introduction.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you?
How good am I? Remembering that Lord is still Lord and God is still good. I'd say a good 8.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for honoring my invite.
Thank you.
And this is going to be a good episode for sure. After the conversation tumekuwa now before we start, so far umeshaanza kunibamba.
Why wacha?
Kabisa, I know, right? Anywho, moving on to the first question that I have. What is your understanding of someone becoming eligible? Generally too, even without getting into the questions.
So becoming eligible is basically what I think is possessing what is required to achieve a certain goal, right?
Good.
So what do you need? What do you need to do to be able to achieve something or possess something? Yeah, I think that's what being eligible, let's say.
Okay, that's good. Okay, from your perspective, what makes a candidate eligible for a job beyond just meeting qualifications?
Okay. Beyond just meeting the normal qualifications that are there, I mean, there's a lot that we also look at. Is one, mindset. What are you thinking? How is your mindset when it comes to the job itself and life and other things that come with it as well, and your readiness to get the job and to do what is required to do the job. And beyond just do what is required to do the job is how adaptable can you be, because the work environment and life in general, it changes a lot. So you need to be able to adapt to different situations that come your way throughout that journey. So those are some of the things that I'd say, away from just being qualified, is that you need your attitude as well. What attitude do you have towards when you come to that job? Is it just a job you're coming to to get the check and go home? Or what attitude do you really have for you to effectively enter and grow into the job market? Because when you enter a job, it's not just about entering a certain role, it's about growth. Because you don't enter a role to stay there, you enter to move to the next level.
Okay, that's amazing. So that means even on your first day at work, you are looking forward to being promoted. So
you should always have that mindset. Of course, we're not saying that you should come in and now focus your work on the promotion, but you should always have a mindset of how can I grow, not only to like the next level, or if you're coming in as an intern, moving to an analyst, or to a next level in whatever position to a full-time position, you're also thinking, how can I grow in this intern position? right? Sometimes you have to look at the season that you're in,
Yes.
and the growth in that season, because whatever you do in that season and the growth that you experience in that season is what is going to build you for your next season. So everything that you do in that position that you have come into,
Yes.
you need to grow every aspect of yourself. You need to grow emotionally, you need to grow your mindset, you need to grow the job itself.
Yeah.
That when you came in as an intern,
Yes.
there's a job description you get, but are you just going to do that job description, or are you going to make that description even better, that the management is going to be like, we didn't even know an intern can do this? So that makes them think, okay, maybe then you can do something else. So it's not just thinking, I am coming in thinking I'm going to be a manager.
Yes.
What have you done in where you have come in
Yes.
that is positioning to you to grow into something else?
Okay, that's nice. So what are some of the basics of growth? Like you can advise someone watching or listening that when you show up, these are the bare minimum of growth.
In a workplace?
Yes, in a workplace.
Bare minimum of growth?
Yes, because according to what you've said, I've heard you talking about growth. You're not supposed to be stagnant in any shape or form.
Yeah, never be stagnant in any shape or form. And as I said, growth is not just into the next level, it's even where you are at.
Okay.
So bare minimum of growth is, the first thing is your mindset, right?
Okay.
As I said before,
Yes.
how you come in and how you do the work is what is going to determine if you're going to grow or not. If you come in with a mindset of, I'm here to get paid and move, you will never grow. That's all you will ever do. So even when you're coming in, you need to have a good mindset and a good attitude. Then you also need to learn. A lot of people think learning is in school,
Yes.
but learning is even in the workplace.
Yes.
You need to always learn. You might think you know so much about a certain job or a certain thing that you're doing, but you always find out there's new ways, and especially right now with technology, there's always a better way to do something.
Yes.
So even with the job description that you have, how can you do that work better? Right? That's part of growth. How can you, if your job description is crunching numbers, how can I crunch these numbers better?
Yes.
So that we can even have a shorter time frame of doing this thing. So learning, mindset, attitude, those are the basic things you need in terms of growth. And alignments. When you're coming into a workplace, every workplace has a vision, has a mission, has a culture, has values.
Yes.
So you need to be able to position yourself to align to those things that are there in that company. And even something I tell people is, an interview is a two-way street, right? We're interviewing you, but you're also interviewing us, because you also need to align to the culture of that company.
Okay.
So even when you're coming into a company, there are some things maybe the company does and it doesn't align with you, and you will struggle to perform in your role.
Yes.
So you need to also be sure about where you're entering and where you're going inside that company. And if a company does XYZ and it's good, right, you need to align.
Yes.
Right? If it's bad, then you need to find ways of how to speak to management about how can we do this better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Because you're one person, I know you've seen a lot of resumes, a lot of cover letters. What are some of the red flags you've seen in most of them?
I mean, these days, the biggest red flag is ChatGPT. I can see a ChatGPT resume from afar, because most people think just because ChatGPT has done it for you,
Yes.
it's now perfect because it's AI, right? But there are things ChatGPT does, and I can see this is a ChatGPT resume. If you notice ChatGPT, it reaches certain points, it put dashes.
Yes.
Or funny things. Those are things I will notice. I'll be like, this is ChatGPT. And ChatGPT language. So the thing that people don't understand, when you're using AI, what you tell AI is what it will give you. If you don't give AI instructions, then it's going to do whatever it wants.
Yes.
So even the instruction, which I'm not saying is bad to use ChatGPT. We use ChatGPT as well, even in our profession. So what I tell people is, if you're using an AI, make sure that you're giving it the right prompts so that it also doesn't look generic. Because you can find, I can give you an example. There was a time I was going through CVs and I had 3 CVs that are the same, word for word.
From 3 different people?
3 different people, word for word. And it's because you went and told ChatGPT,
Yes.
do this CV for me. And that's what it's going to do for you, because another person is going to come and say, do this CV for me. But if now I go into it and then now I break it down and say, okay, ChatGPT, put my skills like this, align them. So one thing I tell people is, if when you're doing your CV, make sure it aligns to the job which you're applying for. So if you're, for example, in HR, there are different facets of HR. You can be a HR generalist, a HR business partner. So if I'm applying for maybe a HR business partner position, my CV should be aligned to that as well. So another red flag I see is a generic CV. Right? So the same CV you can send to us is the same CV you will send to another company with a different position, right? So you're not actually breaking down your CV according to what you're actually applying for. What's another red flag I see is a very long CV, that because sometimes you find people they think a CV should be long so that you can see that I've done things. But then when I look at the first 3 sentences or the first 4 sentences of maybe your first 2 experiences, I'm seeing them being the same. So I'm not seeing, right, what you've done, because all I'm seeing is a repetitive of what you're saying. So maybe you're saying, I did cash flows, I checked how money comes in, just as an example. All that is the same thing to me. And then the other red flag that I see is I don't see numbers. The thing that we want to see numbers, we want to see what I mean by numbers. Numbers tell us what you've achieved, right? So I'm trying to see targets, like if you, for example, in HR, if you reduced turnover, don't tell me you just reduced turnover. What did you reduce turnover by, and how did you get to do that? So a generic CV will tell me I reduced turnover. That to me is not a big thing, because for me, if I have the same issue of turnover in my company, I'm trying to see, you who's done this, how did you do it and what did you achieve? That's how your CV should always look like. Right? It should not be a generic statement. It should be, I did this by doing this, and this is what I achieved.
Nice.
You're getting?
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the things we're looking at, and those are the red flags that I see. Generic CVs mostly are my biggest red flag. And also the way that you have put your CV. So the template that you use, it also matters. Because if you're looking at ATS looks at a lot of things. If you have so many tables, an ATS will cut you out immediately.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about some CVs are super long. What's the standard length of a CV?
I mean, there's no standard length, but if you're it depends also with the job you're applying. If you're an entry level, I'm not expecting a 4-paged CV or a 3-paged CV.
Yeah, true,
right?
True.
Unless I don't know what you are doing in your entry level. You understand?
Yes.
So yeah, it actually depends mostly on the job, right? If you're coming in as a senior, I expect more in your CV, but I also don't expect, like, it's just generic. You're telling me points on points on points on points. Those points need to make sense as well.
Okay. You said you hate generic CVs.
Yeah, so I don't hate it, but it's very annoying to see, right? You're looking at CVs and they're all the same, and you're like,
So how do you tailor your CV for different industries and roles?
It's very simple, by the way. You just tailor it to the job. If you're coming in, again, let me use a HR as an example, or even a finance person, or any job that you're applying for, depending on what you're applying to get, right? If I am applying for a HR payroll specialist, the thing that they're going to look for is my payroll experience, right? They're going to look at which systems have I used in payroll, such things, right? So if that is not in my CV, then, but I'm there saying how I recruited people, it's not aligning towards the job I'm applying for. So you need to check, if you're applying for, let's say, a finance analyst, you again learn, grow. So you need to also research who's a finance analyst, what are some of the things that a finance analyst job description look like, and then now align whatever you find with now your CV. So now you put, and something I usually tell people as a trick, if you're applying for a job, look at that job and the job description they've given and don't use word for word because they will know, but try to adjust your CV to some of the roles that they have put there. Because if you're using an ATS, something about ATS is it looks for keywords. And the keywords have been fed from the job description these people have given its ATS. So that which they're looking for there is what they want to see in your CV. So that's what I tell people. Just try and align, right? If you're applying for a job, look at, okay, these guys are asking for 1, 2, 3. Look at your CV. Does it have these things? No. Don't take the word that is there because that's another red flag. You find someone has copied your whole job description. They've taken it as it is, put it in their CV. You're like, I remember actually someone did that in an interview and we came to ask them, okay, you said you did, because it was an e-commerce analyst position and the person kept saying, oh yeah, we were dealing with SLAs and all that. And we just asked them a simple question, what's an SLA and what your SLA was? And they were like, I don't remember right now. And I was like, a serious CV. So you literally took our job description, put it on the CV, copy pasted everything. And then if you've not, it doesn't mean just because something is in the job description, now you put it in your CV for it to pass. No. It's the things that we're looking for, the skills that we're looking for. Those are the things you should mostly put in your CV. The job description, what the things, if it's a, let's say, communication specialist, we want to see how you've done communications and if it's inbound or outbound calls. Inbound and outbound calls when it comes to communication is a big thing that I'm going to look at if I'm looking for a candidate, right? For a customer service specialist. So that's something I expect to see in your CV. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Something that has been constant in what you're saying is ATS. What is ATS?
ATS is a system. It's an applicant tracking system that many companies, as I said, right now technology is everything, right? No HR wants to go through CVs one by one. Right? So this ATS, it helps HRs and companies to be able to sieve through CVs. So it's just an AI system that basically sieves through CVs and cuts down the recruitment time for and shortlisting time for an employer.
Okay, how do you hack ATS compliant with interviews?
You can't hack it 100.
There's no way, like,
but like you can now make sure your CV even if I go right now, and this is why I say don't stop using ChatGPT, but use it for the right reasons. So right now, if I go to ChatGPT and ask it, how do I make my ATS, my CV ATS friendly? It's going to tell you, use the right fonts, right? To skuje, don't come and start writing for us to do in italics and
even fonts matter.
Fonts matter. ATS looks at, there are fonts ATS cannot read. So if you put your own font there, you need to use basic fonts like Calibri or Times New Roman. Basic things that you know, basic. Kabisa. So it looks at fonts, it looks at bulleting. Right? Which bullets are you using? It doesn't read some bullets. So if it doesn't read that bullet, it means it doesn't read that statement. So your professional summary has not been read because that is where we find you're getting. So it looks at the bulleting, it looks at fonts, it looks at words because it has words that it has been fed to take, right? So which words are these? They're usually the ones that are in the job description that has been put out as well. Tables, it doesn't take tables. So if your CV has tables, it will not read that CV, it will put it out. Your professional summary, it's the first thing that is seen, right? How have you put your contact details as well, your educational summary. If the job description requires a degree, you've not mentioned it's a degree, like, well, it won't take it. So it really matters. And there are actually online platforms that you can use. Some of them are free, but you find they won't do the job completely because they want you to pay a little. So you can also pay people to align your CV. There are so many HR firms these days that do that for you. They can make your CV ATS friendly for you, or you can do it for yourself using the online platforms. If you just search free ATS friendly tracker, it will be able to come, and then you can just send your CV through that. It sieves it and tells you if it's 54% out of 100 or whatever.
Talking about that, there's a role there's a position I was applying for, and the person who sent me the document, she told me, make sure that your CV is ATS compliant. So hapo immediately kabidi niende kutafuta online what are some of this. There's a site I found, it's called JobScan, JobScan something, and I used that to make sure that my CV is ATS compliant. When I first pasted my first CV, I think I was at maybe 10%. So ikabidi I used that trick of looking at the job description,
Yes.
and then I started changing things one by one. But unfortunately, after doing all that, I was at around 80 something. Then after sending it to them, nilipata ile message, we regret to inform you. But at least I came to learn about your story na ATS, because that's something I see most people are doing. So unaweza fanya hiyo story ya ATS consultation?
No, I don't do any CV consultations, but I can.
Can you advise?
I can advise, and I can also link you up with some HR professionals that I know that do it, and they do it quite amazingly.
Good.
Yeah.
Now we are done with kuandika CV, all that. Now let's get into the interviewing process.
Yes.
What makes a job candidate truly memorable during an interview?
From the moment I see you stepping in.
Yes.
Right? How are you stepping in? The confidence.
Yes.
You see, people think interviews is the time you're speaking. It is not the time you're speaking, trust me. Interviews is the whole process, from when you come to the reception, from when you talk to the receptionist if you're coming to an organization that has a reception. Actually, it's not even from that time. It's from the time I send you an interview invite. That's the time I know who you are, right? There are people you send interview invites and they don't even reply that I'm going to be attending, and you find them at your door.
You need to respond.
You need to respond. I'll Thank you for sharing this interview invite. I'll be attending at the said time. Ask any question that you need to ask beforehand.
Yes.
And then come, right?
Yeah.
Then when you come, how you reach the reception, how you speak, right? Because sometimes, again, depending on your position, for some of these senior level positions, how they step into, the organization for the first time, if it's someone who's coming to oversee people, some of us will go and ask the person maybe at the reception, how did you find this person? How were they to you? Right?
Really? You guys do that?
Yeah, because I can be like, maybe you're rude down there, then you come to the interview and you give us a good description of of who you are, right? How did you speak to the guard at the gate, right? That matters, because especially if you're coming to lead a team, if you're rude to the guard, how am I going to trust you with my team that I'm coming to bring you in, right? So sometimes those are some of the tricks that we can use to just be able to learn who you are as a person. Then, of course, now you come into the interview room, and as you walk into that room, how are you walking in? What type of confidence do you have? Yes. Some people are there like, you have to come in and show us, I know what I'm doing. I'm here for a purpose, and I'm going to fulfill that purpose that I'm here to do. Some people come in with attitudes, and you're like, because you see, how you are it will determine what type of energy I have towards you as well. So even when you're coming in, you're confident, you're greeting, right? You're not just sitting, you're like, please, may I have a seat? You're told you sit down. We're looking at your manners at that time, right? Then you have a seat. Then we start the interview. The interviewers ask you questions, right? If you don't know, first of all, if you don't know about the company, why have you come to my interview? You need to do a thorough research about the company you're coming to. Because always you will be asked, what do you know about us? What made you want to apply with us?
Yes.
How do you feel like you align with our company?
Yeah.
How would you know how you align if you don't even know what we do? I have done so many interviews of people telling me what the company does, and we're looking at each other in the panel like, do we do this? Is this the same company? And you're like, maybe we do that in another world. We don't know, and then you need to know even where or when you applied. Some people come and tell you in an interview, I have been applying for so many jobs, I don't even remember when I applied for this one. You're like, wow. So you didn't even research, you need to remind yourself a bit about these things.
Before you continue, so when I show up for an interview, I need to show my interviewer that they are priority. So nisisikue like I think I interviewed. I sent my resume.
Yeah,
maybe 2 weeks.
because now we are looking at that will show me that there's so much you're looking for that you don't even know. So you've come for my interview, you're doing the interview, and maybe you're even thinking about another job you had applied somewhere else. So I give you the position, and then 2 weeks later or 2 days later, hey, this other company has called me and I want to go there. You're getting.
Yes.
So you need to show that this is the job I want.
Okay.
Because we also want someone who wants us. We don't also want exactly. You don't want someone who you're not the side chick. This thing. You're the main chick. We also want to be the main chick. Of course, we know you're applying for jobs elsewhere, but don't make us feel like we need you. Yeah.
Interesting. So, from what I've garnered, is that you guys also look for emotional intelligence.
Very much emotional intelligence, especially right now, being that a lot of people that you're hiring are the younger generation. There's a lot of emotional intelligence that you need to work right now, right? So that's something the workplace needs you to be very emotionally intelligent. You can't come to a workplace and be the same baby you are in the house. No one acknowledges you're a baby. Once you get to the workplace, there is no last born, there is no first born, there is only a worker. So you need a lot of emotional intelligence. So we don't only look at, yes, what you've done matters. By the way, it really does matter. It's the first thing we're looking at. But beyond that, who are you? As Kimani Sauce, who are you?
Yeah.
What do you like doing? What don't you like? What's your temperament like? Because again, in a workplace, you work with so many people from different backgrounds, different attitudes, they've grown up so differently. So if you're someone who just gets angry, you will suffer because that's a disciplinary case. And then you're terminated.
So true.
And no one is going to be like, oh, maybe it's just because you were raised as an angry person. No one is going to be like that.
We are not family.
We are, but we are not. We really are family. I mean, we try as much as possible to be family, but...
You're a typical HR speaking right now.
But no,
we are colleagues. You're not family.
No, we are family. We're building some...
But family, by family, we take into considerations how the other person feel.
We listen. The thing is, we still listen. But if out of anger you do something that now it's a disciplinary case, I'm not going to listen because you have put yourself in that situation. When we hired you, and that's where the emotional intelligence comes in, we expect that you're able to actually hold back your emotions and do the right thing. Yeah.
Okay. Let me take you back kidogo to vile umesema when someone is working in greeting. Apart from that, what other soft skills are you looking for?
Communication. You
100%.
need to be able to speak.
Okay.
You need to be able to articulate what you're saying and for us to understand it, right? If you're coming to tell me about your job and what you do or what you want and all that, you need to be able to explain it. Don't tell me you've come for a finance job and you can't even explain what a balance sheet is. Like you're telling us, if I write it down, I can show you. No. We don't, if we write, us, we are not finance people. So if you write it down, we don't know. So you should be able to explain what you've actually come to do. So communicate.
Okay.
Communicate correctly, articulate everything that you're saying correctly. Yeah, those are some of the soft skills that we're looking at. A big one being, of course, communication.
Talking about communication, now we've come to the end of the interview and you want to follow up. Should I follow up to you? Should I follow up ama ningoje mpaka you guys you tell me we regret to inform you, blah, blah, blah?
Oh, wow.
Is there a clear way of following up?
There's no really clear way of following up.
Am I supposed to follow up?
It's always good to do, thank you so much. I enjoyed the interview. Thank you for having me. I look forward to your response. Yeah. Right? So that again shows us, okay, this person actually has interest.
Yes.
And then don't pester the HR or the recruiter. I'm following up. We're like, hey, give us time. Just after that, just because if they tell you 2 weeks, right, we're going to give you feedback after 2 weeks.
Yes.
After 2 weeks, if you don't get feedback, you can send like a message there being like, once again, thank you for the interview. It was great. You had informed that you're going to give me feedback by the end of 2 weeks, 2
Yeah.
weeks have elapsed, just following up
Yes.
to see where this is at. I'm still looking forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I hope umesikia. Wache kupesta pesha. Pesha kikwambia, don't call us, we'll call you. They'll call you.
They
Now,
will.
you've gotten the job, success in your interview. Once someone gets the job, what steps should they take in the first 90 days to position them for future promotions?
First of all, when you get a job, when you're coming in,
Yes.
there's something that happens that's called an onboarding.
Onboarding.
Yeah.
What's that?
An onboarding happens where now you're explained to about the company. You get to learn who the company is, what they do, why they are who they are, you know, their vision, their mission, their culture, all that, right? So one thing I tell people is your onboarding, you better take it seriously, because your onboarding is what is going to give you the ammunition you need for your job.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So if you're not listening during your onboarding, you'll be down the line and someone is asking you, you meet a manager, and most of them are the big people at the top, and they're asking you, so what do you know about us? And you start saying, oh, you know, you do 1, 2, 3 things. And they're like, what do you think about the vision that we're trying to do here? You don't even remember the vision statement. You don't even remember what So you need to take it very seriously. Learn everything that you can about the company. Because again, even when you're working, the biggest thing you get to learn is every organization in the role that you're in, you're doing it so that you can be in alignment with the vision. You're doing it to fulfill the vision, to fulfill the goal, to fulfill the purpose that company is trying. So you need to be aligned with that as well. So some things that you can do is, one, align yourself with the culture that they have, right? Every organization has a culture. So align yourself with that culture in what you're doing. Be willing to learn.
Yes.
When you come in, everyone is looking at you. Your leads, your supervisors, they're all looking at you.
Yes.
And they're looking at how well can this person learn.
Yes.
The shorter time you get to learn, the better. Because they see, oh, okay, this is a sharp person. We can move with them.
Yes.
Right? And learning is not just learning what you're doing, learning what exactly you're doing. It's also learning what other people are doing.
Okay.
Because then how do you get involved with other departments as well, right? How do you get involved with other people as well, so that you can be seen as someone who is flexible?
Yes.
Be proactive,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You're not just here for the job that you come to do. Be proactive. What is the company doing that maybe I can jump into?
Yes.
It's not necessarily my job description, but there's an opportunity for me to do it. So be proactive, get into that as well. Be reliable, that if I'm looking and I'm thinking, we need this done, who can I be the first person? You should always be at the top of your manager's mind. Always. That if your manager is thinking, there's this thing we need to do, who can I? It's always, oh, Kimani. You know, be at the top of your manager's mind. Don't be that person who we have to look and then remember, by the way, someone somewhere. Because when we're thinking about promotion, we're not thinking about that person over there. We're thinking about this person we've always been seeing, right? And there are people who think being seen is what will make you get the job. No. Your actions plus being seen is what will get you the job.
Actions
plus being seen. Because you can be seen, but you're doing nothing.
True.
And then I give you a managerial position and you can't actually do it, and you start delegating to every person because you can't do it. So you need to be seen and be actionable as well, right? They need to go hand in hand. Solution oriented. There's no one in a company that wants an employee who cannot bring solutions.
Yes.
You should not be a problem bringer. You should be a problem solver. Always. So even when you're coming into the company, learn and then get what the problems they have.
Yes.
Get solutions for it.
Okay.
Because that is what is going to set you apart from every other employee that is there, right? Find solutions. If your department is suffering through something or going through something and they need like a solution, find the solution. Don't just be like, why we are going through so many problems and then you're adding to the problems. No. Be a solution. Bring in the solution and build good relationships. I can assure you, sometimes, I think there's a company I was working for, and that boss asked a cleaner who should be promoted to a man. I'm not even lying.
Promoted to
a manager for a certain role. And he asked the cleaner because he felt like sometimes people don't take the relationships even with cleaners or
Yeah.
the down people as seriously, because I think this person just cleans. There's
Yes.
nothing they're going to do for
Yes,
me,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
I can be. Yeah, but he asked, and I was like, I want to promote this person, so should I promote them or not? And the cleaner was like, yo, that person is rude. That person is like this, and that person missed that opportunity like that. You can imagine.
Wow.
You can imagine. So you need to build good relationships. Everyone build good relationships from the person at the bottom to the person at the top. Build as good, be a good person and build that relationship. Yeah.
So talking about being reliable and solution oriented, let's say in maybe the finance department and I'm in a creative company. I'm in the finance department, then the person who is supposed to do maybe a poster is not available. Then since solution oriented, I know how to create a poster. I decide to create a poster. Then the boss is like, you can do it. There is no need of hiring someone to do that. Do you advise someone to go that route? Amuko like, wacha kila mtu. Mimi niko finance, let me stick to finance. Tafuteni mtu wa graphics.
I'll tell you, it's very tricky. It's very tricky because one,
yes,
sometimes, unfortunately, some organizations take advantage of that. So
true.
you find yourself you're being taken advantage of,
yes,
and you're still expected to perform your KPIs in your finance position, right? So this I don't say as a HR, because I shouldn't say it as a HR, but I don't advise people to do that. I really advise, unless you want to move from your finance career moving into the creative industry, and then they give you that position like that I fully advise you can do, right? If it's a career jump you want to do and you've seen the opportunity there, 100% go for it. But if it's something you like doing as a hobby, and the moment that thing blows up, you're about to have 2 jobs that you did really apply for,
yes,
I don't advocate for it as well. That does not mean that now you let the company sink or fail.
yeah.
You can even lie, and I'm not saying lie, but you can maybe twist the truth and be like, I know someone who can do it. You do it. And I'll be like, the person has done it.
That's smart.
And then I'll be like, okay, this person can, that I do not say as a HR. I do not say as a HR. I don't advocate for such things. But as Miss Nyamai herself, those are sentiments of Nyamai herself and not HR. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. How should someone approach their manager about wanting to grow or take on more responsibilities?
Okay. So one thing is, before you approach your manager, you need to look within. So
What do you mean?
have you positioned yourself to take up more responsibility? You cannot come and say you want growth or to be promoted or take up more responsibility, yet in your own role, you're not even doing it, right? For you to be given more, the reward for good work is more work. So you have to have done good.
Yes.
And the thing is, every organization, you have your KPIs and then you have your performance reviews. So before you ask for more,
yes,
first check, how do my reviews look like? Are my reviews good enough for me to move into the next level?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
The things that I'm doing, every single thing that is required of me, if all of it is not at 80%, all my roles are not at 80% and above, you have no business adding yourself any more roles. If you're doing a lot, you have no business adding yourself more roles, unless some of them are reducing, because something is going to suffer at the end of the day.
Okay.
So those are some of the things you need to look at and think about before you go and ask for more, right? What have you done where you are? Then, of course, when you're going to ask for more, there's going to be the question of, beyond what you have done, where have you proactively thrown yourself into to do more? And how has that turned out when you did that?
Yeah.
It's not, so that it's not looking like I need to be promoted to do more.
Yes.
I have actually been doing more in my own area.
Yes.
And I have pushed myself, even without being given more, I have pushed myself to do more as well. And then now you can be able to approach your manager and just ask them, and it's a talk, right? You're not going to demand a promotion. You're just going to be like, I have seen an opportunity. One, you also have to identify the opportunity, because sometimes your manager can ask you, where do you want to go? what position is this that you expect that we're gonna give you? So you have to also come and be like, I've seen a gap here. Sometimes you create your own promotion even if it's not there. Be like, I've seen a gap here, and I've seen maybe an opportunity that there is to grow in this certain position, or maybe there are these roles that are not being performed as required, and I feel like I can take up that because I have done 1, 2, 3 things. Because every promotion needs evidence, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Every promotion needs
You
evidence.
need evidence. You cannot be promoted without. For anyone to be promoted, you always hear the thing of, this person they do 1, 2, 3 things, so we think they can be promoted into this, or they have really pushed the company from where it was to where it is now. So that's the evidence.
Yes.
Right. So every promotion has evidence backing it. So what's your evidence that you're going to bring and say, I deserve this promotion because of 1, 2, 3 things, right? Yeah.
So you've said every promotion demands evidence. Let's say uko in a department where your lead ndo anachukua your evidence each and every time you do something, your lead anachukua evidence. How do you approach that?
Again, another tricky situation, because you can't go and
let
start
Miss Nyamai
saying,
speak.
you can't go and start saying, actually the work I do, my boss does it. Because even the promotion you need, it's not going to go above your lead.
Yeah.
It's going to be under your lead. So you
Yes.
still need a good relationship. So just find other ways. Find other ways to bring in evidence, even in your role that you're currently doing.
Okay.
Maybe there are big things that they are taking, but they can't take everything from you. Then you would not be in that position. It would show that you're not a worker.
Yeah. Yes.
So find the things that you're doing and you're doing them well. Those are the things that you can talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. And also you can just be like, I played a major role in how this was achieved by my lead.
That's smart.
Yeah. So, and then it looks like, oh, okay, so you did something big
Yes.
there as well.
Yes.
You're not taking out of the fact that your lead
Yes.
is the one who took the glory,
Yes.
but you're being like, I did a major role, and you have the evidence to back it up. I did 1, 2, 3 things in the project.
Yes.
Of course, maybe if you did everything, don't say everything you did, because then it looks like that's everything in the project. But do take some things and say, I did this 1, 2, 3 things in the project that made an impact in how that came out. Yeah.
One thing in every organization, akukosi vile people are going to conflict over one thing or the other. What's the best way to approach conflict at work?
Conflict in the workplace.
Yes.
First of all, don't fight.
How do you fight then in other ways?
So one thing you always need to look at is learn the people you're working with. Learn whose temperament is what. What ticks this person and what doesn't tick this person? Because when you learn a person, you can avoid a lot of things.
Yes.
And a lot of conflict in the workplace.
Yes.
Then also learn how someone works. Unfortunately, in the workplace, there are people who are lazy and there are people who work. And those lazy ones are the ones, unfortunately, sometimes are at the top,
Yes.
right? So you also need to learn how someone works so that you can avoid. So if you're paired up with this person and you know this person is not a worker, you also just know, okay, I'm paired up with someone who's not a worker.
Yes.
I need to do the job because at the end of the day, it's gonna be problems,
Yes.
right? So learn the people you're working with, know who you're working with, and the type of person they are, the temperament that they have, and all that, and the attitude that they have
Yes.
again as well. Then depending on what the level of conflict also, because sometimes it can be conflict between your supervisor and yourself,
Yes.
or conflict between you and just another employee
Yes.
as well. If it's you and another employee, try to talk it out. If that doesn't work out, then escalate it into the next level, right? After escalation, of course, at that point, whoever is in charge will
Yes.
know how to work around that. But always try and talk to the person beforehand so that it's not, hey, umeniseti, you know? Yeah, so try and talk to the person, get to learn,
Yeah.
understand, because sometimes you find maybe this person is even conflicting with me,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's maybe problems at home that they have,
Eh.
and that's why they're like this, and sometimes some people don't know how to speak out and they just want to conflict with you, but it's now affecting your work. So you can't have your work being affected because your KPIs are not yours and theirs.
Yes.
It's yours.
Yours alone.
Right, at the end of the day.
Yes.
Then escalate it. If it's between you and your supervisor, that's usually one of the trickiest.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So know, first of all, how is your supervisor? Again, how do they react, things and that. And then if it's to the extreme, definitely escalate it into the next level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But always be respectful in all the situations. Be respectful, be kind. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about being respectful, what is considered crossing the line with HR, and how should employees voice concerns respectfully?
Crossing the line.
Inaweza kuwa maybe something you've encountered and you call like you've crossed the line. I am the HR. I'm not.
Yeah, I have encountered one. It's something I don't like speaking about.
Okay.
However, it's also understandable because HR is usually the easiest person to blame in an organization.
So true.
Because we are like, you're the people who did this, but it's really not us. We're actually executors of what the organization asks us to do, right? But people don't see that. And something I say, I'll come from this point. So when I came into HR, one of the things that I really wanted to change is the perspective of HR.
Okay.
That HR is a bad person.
Yes.
Every organization you hear, HR. Like you're like, I'm just a person at the end of the day.
But sifa zenyu vile zimefanywa na wengine, wow.
It's bad.
Yes.
It's bad. But that's one of the things that even as I became a HR, I wanted to change. That HR is not the enemy. It's really not the enemy. We are just executors, right?
Yes.
And also sometimes it's hard for HR as well because you are a link between employees and management and management and employees. So management is expecting you to take their side and be like, put it down on them, And then employees are like, you're our only hope, So even when I came into HR, one thing I really wanted to do is now bridge that gap that is there and change the mindset that as much as HR is a link between you and management, it's also a link. I try to make employees understand where I come in when it comes to management and why some things have to be done the way they should.
Yes.
And again, explain to management as well the same thing. So if an employee has a problem, and I tell this to everyone, even when I come into any organization, one thing I do say is my office is not, it's an open door policy, and not those ones that you hear, our office is an open door policy and you never come. I literally lay it down and be like, it's an open door policy. And good. I reach out before they reach out, right? Because employees will never come because they're like, hey, we've had that before and then we've come. And then what I do is I hear them out, and I take the things that I know, these ones I can change, and I start changing them from there.
Yes.
And that will create a mindset to the employees. Oh, wait, we told her this and it's happening, right?
Yes.
And then now going to the bigger things as well. And that creates now that safe space for them to come and share out their views and all that. And even when I'm creating an open door policy for them, I'm explaining to them, how should you come, right? You should come respectfully. And what is respectful? If you have a problem, you're not coming to HR's office as if you're demanding for something to be done, right? You're coming respectfully and saying there's an issue.
Yes.
And I like knowing how do you feel like this issue should have been handled from your side? Because even if I go and change it, if this person doesn't feel like that is what I wanted, they will forever feel like HR failed me.
Yes, so true.
Right?
So true.
So I want to hear, okay, the situation has happened like this, or the problem is like this. How do you feel like this problem can be solved?
Yeah.
Because sometimes a big thing I like to do is let employees give me the solution, and I now align that solution with how management can take it, right? So now that's what I prefer. Instead of me going to do something and then come back and they're like, yeah, you did something, but it's not what we wanted, Yeah, so I tell people, come respectfully, come and speak, come and say what you want to say, give me a solution as to what you want. And I even had that conversation with someone yesterday in my office, and I was telling them, I hear you, but give me a solution. Then after the solution, let's figure it out from there.
That's good. One thing I can tell the viewer is that you are a good friend, a good HR, because I served with you. I was working for an organization, and you were my boss, I can say my boss, and you handled every single thing vizuri. I was like, where was he HR, but you are treating me like you are my HR uncle. Like, that was very, very good. And thank you so much for that. For real, I don't take it for granted.
Oh, shy thing.
Now, the final question, and you only have 30 seconds to answer this. If you had to give only one piece of advice to anyone who wanted to become eligible for employment or promotion, what advice would you give them?
Believe in yourself and put God in it.
Okay.
Believe in yourself that you can do it and you can get that job, and do what is required of you to get that job, right? Learn, grow, listen, do everything that is required of you, and put God in it, because people think that I need God to get the job, but they don't realize you need God to sustain you throughout that job. So put God in it and He will show you wonders. I tell people, if there's one thing in life I have learned to where I am, is God is the one who has brought me throughout. Right? Every step, the things that I know, the things that I do, it is God. So put God in it and He will show you wonders. And sometimes you don't know if you're qualified or not for the job, but God will open doors for you and qualify you in rooms that you are not even qualified for.
Wow, that's good. Thank you so much, Miss Nyamai, for gracing the Become Eligible podcast.
Thank you. I was nervous, but this was great. You're a great host.
Stop.
Really great host.
Thank you. I appreciate. Tunajaribu. Mungu anasaidia. And thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you've learned a lot. I know this has been educational to me and also to you. And if you have any questions or feedback, be sure to reach out to me using my WhatsApp number, which is 0700573437. Don't forget to follow me on each and every social media platform, that is at Become Eligible Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And my personal social media handle is at Kimani Sauce. Until next time, continue becoming eligible. God bless you. Bye.
From the mic to the street, yeah, we bring the heat. It's your time to speak, or yeah, take your seat. Become eligible.